Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Sit Down Marks podcast. It is Primo, and it's just me here, actually. Let's talk about that. Before we get to that, though, I want to make sure you guys go back, Sit Down Marks episode 153. Check it out. That interview with Jay Repso, owner and promoter of Dreamwave Wrestling. And that was an awesome interview, awesome conversation. Loved having Jay back. Can't wait to have him back in the future. But in the meantime, we will be back again for another full episode on April 10th. That's our pre-WrestleMania episode. Be sure to check that out. That'll be a lot of fun. Now let's talk about now. What's happening now is it's just me, Primo. It's just me, it's just me, Primo, on this mini episode. We're launching a bit of a mini series where I come through and I talk to you guys for 10, 15, 20 minutes. And it's stuff we wouldn't normally talk about on our main podcast, on the main episodes. This also isn't the length of our main episodes, but basically it's just to give you guys content on the in-between weeks, on the weeks that we aren't necessarily giving you guys a full episode. So that way there's always content coming out from the Sit Down Marks podcast, because that's what it's all about. We want you guys to get as much that you can from our podcast. So let's get into today. Today, we're launching the mini-series. The mini-series is it is called Cheap Pops with Primo. That's right, Cheap Pops with Primo, presented by the Sit Down Marks podcast. We are going to be talking today, specifically, about the 2025 Slammys. That's right. You don't necessarily think of the Slammys anymore. Let's start there, actually. You don't necessarily think of the Slammys anymore because they don't. You remember they used to have it on Raw every year, and then they just kind of stopped doing that. And now they have it, at an event. Now they're having the 2025 Slammys Fan Choice Awards. It's going to be hosted by Big E and Kathy Kelly at WWE World at WrestleMania. And that's going to be in Vegas on April 20th. What a day. Okay, so let's get into this a little bit, shall we? All right, so when we go to the website, we pull up the 2025 Slammys Fan Choice Awards that's coming on Sunday, April 20th. Here we are. It says the Slammy Awards are back. WWE's iconic awards show makes its triumphant return to the 2025 Slammys, the Fan Choice Awards. You can stream it live, blah, blah, blah. WWE World at WrestleMania on WWE socials on Sunday, April 20th. Cool. Now, unfortunately, the voting is now closed. I freaking sat on this for too long, and guess what? I missed the voting. I was going to do this last weekend, but this happened, or things happen, life happens. Anyway, here we are. So we're not going to vote, but we are going to go over the nominations. Once again, I did talk about how it's going to be hosted by Big E and Kathy Kelly. Like, let's start back go back to, a couple of old school moments on Raw. You had the freedom of speech thing with Stone Cold. That was more of a that was awesome. Of course, you had the one of my favorite Slammy moments was obviously Miz Girl, and then the Miz and Alex Riley coming out and crashing that. There are a lot of moments that have happened. I always looked forward to like the oh my god moment or whatever, and like the extreme moment. I'm sure Jeff Hardy won a few of those. But let's move on, I guess, to the Slammy freaking Fan Choice Awards in the categories. So for Female Superstar of the Year. Now let's think about this. Female Superstar of the Year. We have Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, Bayley, Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton, Chelsea Green, and Io Sky. So out of those, let's go ahead and... that's hard, actually. Thinking about that, Liv Morgan has done it all. She's actually kind of been the workhorse of the women's division for the past year, at least. Rhea Ripley, I wouldn't say she was the superstar of the year this year. The year before that, sure, but not this past year. That's due to injuries and due to not being in and out. But I would not give her superstar of the year. Now she is awesome, but that doesn't mean I don't. That doesn't say superstar of the year to me. Bailey, I love Bailey, but I don't think she gets superstar of the year here. Nia Jax, she's had a good year. She's actually had a really good year. Queen of the Ring. She won the title, lost it, of course, to Tiffany when she cashed in, who is the next person on the list. Tiffany Stratton does not. I don't think she gets superstar of the year. She's just the champion, and before that, she was just Nia Jax's lackey. So no. Chelsea Green. Now this one. Sorry, not this one, but this woman, woman wrestler. She's been doing a lot. I mean, fans have been behind her more and more this past year. We got so hyped for her to win that United States Women's Championship, and she's been doing awesome. I think between her and Liv Morgan, because Io Sky is the current women's heavyweight champion, but I just like kind of Bailey, where she hasn't had a bad year. Io Sky has had a normal year, not like nothing crazy. But I think Chelsea Green and Liv Morgan are your top two contenders here for female superstar of the year. So let's move on. We got male superstar of the year. Male superstar of the year, we have Cody Rhodes, of course. Roman Reigns, acknowledge him. Gunther, CM Punk. Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre, Jey Uso, and Seth freaking Rollins. They didn't say Seth freaking Rollins. They said Seth Rollins. Now, this is hard for me because I'm trying not to be biased. Obviously, I mean, okay, so right out the gate, I don't give Superstar of the Year to CM Punk. I can't stand Gunther. Roman Reigns hasn't been around enough. Cody Rhodes has been a boring champion. Damian Priest, he's good. He's kind of like Bailey and Io. He's had a normal year. Drew McIntyre, dude is clawed all year. He had a great year last year. Besides losing to Punk, but Punk wouldn't have had that much without Drew McIntyre, brother. Jey Uso, I think he's probably the male superstar of the year. Unfortunately, if I had to choose, though, I would choose Seth Rollins, and that's only because I'm biased. But I guess if I'm going to actually choose to win, like if I was betting on this, I would choose Jey Uso as your male superstar of the year, just because of all the all the hype behind him. Let's go to most memorable entrances. Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. Which one? Which one? Website. Jey Uso, first of all, hold on. Let's back up, because his entrance this past WrestleMania was not as good as his one last year or the year before, whenever he came out with the Helldivers gear on. That one is my favorite that he's done so far. The Helldivers cape that he had was so cool. Next most memorable entrance, Jey Uso on Raw Netflix debut with Travis Scott. I did not like that. The whole Travis Scott thing. Nope, thanks. Get that out of here. Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, okay. Infinite Aura. The Rock at WrestleMania, sure. Bailey at WrestleMania. Randy Orton at Bash in Berlin. Seth Rollins at WrestleMania with the Philadelphia Mummers Band. I mean, I can see that. See, when you say that and you give me a good description, now I can actually see it in my brain. Sami Zayn in Montreal with Jey Uso. That's a good one. Sami Zayn at WrestleMania with Kevin Owens and Chad Gable. Logan Paul at SummerSlam with MGK. See, I remember that too. Dominic Mysterio at Bad Blood with Liv Morgan in the Lowrider. Drew McIntyre at Clash at the Castle. That one is pretty good. Unfortunately, I think they're probably going to pick the Jey Uso on Raw with Netflix debut. I don't like that choice. If I had to choose, it'd be like Drew McIntyre at Clash at the Castle, or Sami Zayn in Montreal, or even Randy Orton at Bash in Berlin. Like those ones are really cool, but they're gonna go with what they're gonna go with, and they really want to get this Travis Scott shit over. So, excuse my language. There it is. That's one of my favorite categories. OMG Moment of the Year. Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. match finish at WrestleMania last year. This is the second night of WrestleMania with the after the Bloodline rules match, or it is the Bloodline rules match, excuse me. And this is when they had like, Solo and then John Cena and then The Rock and then The Undertaker. Oh, well, Seth Rollins came out there too, but yeah, the whole thing. That was actually freaking cool. I remember thinking about that like the entire next week. So yeah, that was awesome. Dominic turning on Rhea. I don't think that's that OMG because we all saw it coming. Well, if you didn't, then you need to get tuned in. Kevin Owens turning on Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes in October. Now, it's not crazy. See, that's the thing. Like, Kevin Owens turning on anybody, first of all, he's right. Be better friends to Kevin Owens, by the way. But Kevin Owens turning on anybody or Randy Orton turning on anybody, that's not new, guys. You guys can't trust people like that. Like, this stuff is just, that's what they do. So that's not news to me. New Day turning on Big E on Raw. That was not so much an OMG moment, which it's just more like a hell yeah moment to me. Good job, New Day. Because, trim that dead weight. Tiffany Stratton's Money in the Bank cash in and on Nia Jax on SmackDown. Yeah, we couldn't wait for that to happen. Thankfully, it did. Damian Priest Money in the Bank cash in. Yeah, that one did. We kind of, if you try to put your ducks in a row and you say you guessed that one, maybe you did. But that was kind of cool too at WrestleMania. Wyatt Six debut on Raw. Well, it's now Saturday, March 29th, 2025. Where is the White Six? Braun Breaker spearing ISO Speed at Royal Rumble. That was crazy. The most viral clip this year, obviously, or even in the past year. Bronson Reed hitting the tsunami on Braun Strowman in the car. John Cena turning on Cody Rhodes at Elimination Chamber. Obviously, that's the freaking biggest moment. We've gone over that to death on the pod, so I won't go too much further into that one. Roman Reigns returning at SummerSlam and Io Sky beating Rhea Ripley to become the women's world champion. People should not be surprised about Io Sky beating Rhea. Io is undefeated against Rhea Ripley. Keep that in mind. She is her kryptonite. So, out of these OMG moments of the year, obviously it's got to be between Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns, where Cody finished his story, or John Cena kicking Cody right in the nuts and turning on him, beating the hell out of him with his own Rolex. Yeah, that's the moment. I mean, I got it right here, guys. I recently got this in the mail. It's to commemorate that moment. I got the Tops Now card for that Travis Scott, even though he, I was kind of pissy about this, that he was even in that moment. But Travis Scott, The Rock, and John Cena holding up that title after they just whooped Cody Rhodes' ass. I think that's the moment. John Cena turning heel. Faction of the year, OG Bloodline, Judgment Day, New Bloodline, American Made, Damage Control. So, unfortunately, as much as I love the OG Bloodline, neither one of the Bloodlines, except for, if they would have just said Jacob Fatu instead of New Bloodline, but they didn't. So take that out of the equation. American Made, nah. Damage Control, dude, where is I don't even know where half of Damage Control is. So obviously the Judgment Day is still on top. Tag Team of the Year, DIY, Awesome Truth, A-Town, Down Under, Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, Motor City Machine Guns, The Bloodline, The War Raiders, The Judgment Day, Street Profits, Liv Morgan, and Raquel Gonzalez. I fucked that up, didn't I? Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. So, as we said on the pod, we like Motor City. They are some of our favorite tag teams of all time. Their music currently sucks in the WWE, whatever. Street Profits, they wanted all the smoke. They just got the tag team championships back. DIY has actually kind of put the tag team division back on notice on SmackDown, to be honest. If I'm being honest, I know freaking Dirty hates Johnny Gargano, and he doesn't care for DIY. But they have been making waves and making things happen and shook up the whole tag team division whenever they went heel this past year on SmackDown. Or was that this year? Fuck. It's already going by fast. Anyway, so out of all of those, if I had to choose, it'd be either the Judgment Day or DIY. Certainly not Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. I mean, you see, with their relationship is in turmoil. Bianca might be, acting like she's sad about this, but no, I think she had something to do with Jade's attack. Rivalry of the year: CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes, Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley, Damian Priest, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, Cody Rhodes, Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton, Bloodline versus Bloodline. You know what? Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes spanned a couple years, excuse me. CM Punk and Drew McIntyre might be that rivalry of the year. If it's not CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, it's got to be Bloodline versus Bloodline. But I think it's CM Punk, Drew McIntyre. It culminated at that Hell in a Cell match, and they still can't stand each other. That's great. NXT Superstar of the Year: Oba Femi, Roxanne Perez, Trick Williams, Ethan Page, Julia and Kalani Jordan. Dude, I mean, if you don't say anything besides Trick Williams or Oba Femi or Roxanne, dude, they're all crazy. I mean, they're all freaking great. But on this list, whoop that trick. You know what I'm saying? Match of the year: Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre in the Hell in a Cell match. Roman Reigns and The Rock versus Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. That was WrestleMania Night 1. Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley at SummerSlam. Damian Priest versus Gunther at SummerSlam. Cody Rhodes versus AJ Styles at Backlash. The 2025 Men's War Games match: Bayley versus Io Sky at WrestleMania. Sami Zayn versus Gunther at WrestleMania. Gunther versus Randy Orton at Bash in Berlin. And Seth Rollins versus CM Punk on the Raw Netflix premiere. Yeah, so right out the gate, I'm going to give it to one of the top ones on that list, which was CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre at that Hell in a Cell. It was great. I mean, I think it surpassed anything else on this list. WTF Moments of the Year. Sorry, I'm speeding up here. I don't want to give you guys too much of my time. It is valuable. WTF Moment of the Year. R-Truth calls Triple H Ciampa. That's okay. Kevin Owens car interviews. Chelsea Green goes into the dumpster. Dominic Mysterio in Shark Cage. I Show Speed with Logan Paul at WrestleMania. LA Knight in Logan Paul's pool. R-Truth wrestles with John Cena. Rabid noises from Tama Tonga. Jacob Fatu saying, "I love you, Solo." And the Wyatt Six debut. Just because I think it's hilarious, I'm going to choose the Rabid noises from Tama Tonga. Yeah. Social Star of the Year: Chelsea Green or Drew McIntyre. They are both great on the socials if you hadn't checked them out. But because I'm a cat dad, and so is Drew, I'm going to go with Drew McIntyre. And lastly, last category here: Breakout Superstar of the Year: Braun Breaker, Lyra Valkyrie, Penta, Oba Femi, Julia, Tiffany Stratton, Jacob Fatu, Chelsea Green, and Stephanie Vauquer. I've talked about him already. I said if he was going to be on the list, and I was going to give it to him, and that is Jacob Fatu. I'm telling you right now, even what they did, on SmackDown last night, Jacob Fatu is amazing. He was the best part of the new bloodline. He could be the best part of any bloodline, really, because he is just athletic and vicious and just that aggressiveness. He's my pick for Breakout Superstar of the Year. All right, so I know that was quick, and it was just a quick 20-minute clip. But if you guys enjoy this, we'll keep doing it. Reach out to the podcast, Sit Down Marks podcast on any socials. You can even reach out to me directly, Primo from the pod. And if you want to see any content during these short mini episodes, let us know, and we'll be sure to put it out. But for now, you just got me talking whatever that comes to mind. So for Primo, for the Sit Down Marks podcast, this has been Cheap Pops with Primo, and make sure to tune in to the Sit Down Marks podcast on April 10th when we are back to talk about WrestleMania. Be there, and as always, as DB would say, we are top guys, but I'm just one, and we are out.